Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're talking all things social media for business growth.
Okay.
You know that thing you're always telling us we need to be doing better.
Yes. 100%. Got to be on top of it.
And you found us this ebook at Premium Books, Smart Social Media, How to Grow Your Business With .pdf.
This one's got some good stuff.
Yeah, so we're diving into that today.
So are you ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay, so one of the things that struck me right away, sometimes you pick up these business books and it's like, okay, post on Instagram, make a reel, go viral. But this one actually digs into the core principles of marketing that underpin all of this stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's not just like tactics, it's more like a strategy guide. Almost.
Right. Like, what are we actually trying to do here?
Exactly.
And they start right away with this whirlwind tour of the history of social media, which is pretty interesting, like going all the way back to...
6degrees.com?
6degrees.com. Like, who remembers that? I vaguely do, but, it's ancient history at this point.
I know. But it's kind of fascinating to see how far we've come, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it highlights that, things are constantly changing. Like, what works today might not work tomorrow.
Oh, 100%. Okay, so speaking of things changing, like this whole transition, like they talk about Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
They started with DVDs by mail. Can you imagine?
I know, wild, right? Like, who even knew that's how they started?
I know, but they totally transformed themselves into this streaming giant.
They really understood what their customers wanted.
That's so key, right? Like, and they didn't just guess, they like really dug into the data.
Oh, yeah, they're all about data. They track everything, like what people are watching, when they're watching it, how long they're watching it for.
It's like they have a crystal ball, right?
Kind of, but it's all data.
Okay, so speaking of data, they talk about Apple.
Okay.
And Steve Jobs' approach to understanding customers, which now, full disclosure, this part kind of blew my mind.
Okay, so Steve Jobs famously wasn't a huge fan of like traditional market research.
He's like, I know what people want.
Right. He relied more on his intuition, his understanding of design, technology.
So risky.
Oh, totally. But it worked out pretty well for them, don't you think?
That's true. Okay, so moving on, they talk about this know-like trust factor.
Yes.
And I feel like, we hear this all the time, but in the context of social media, it just really hit home for me.
It's so important.
It is. Like, would you buy something from someone you didn't know, like, or trust?
Probably not.
No, exactly.
It's about building those relationships.
So how do we actually DO that online?
Well, the book gives some good tips like using customer testimonials, being transparent about your process.
Ooh, transparency. I like that.
Yeah, and even owning up to your mistakes.
Oh, interesting.
Makes you human. It makes you relatable.
Okay, so we're building trust. We're getting to know our customers, but then what?
Right. So then it's about guiding your customer through every stage.
This journey, this is where it gets interesting.
This is where the fun begins.
It's not just about shouting your message. It's about, meeting them where they are.
Exactly. From the moment someone becomes aware of your brand, maybe through a funny meme you shared.
Ooh, I love a good meme.
Right. To the point where they're like raving fans, leaving you glowing reviews. Social media can be there every step of the way.
It's wild. I love that. So how do we make the most of it?
Well, storytelling is huge. They use this great example of Lego and how they use nostalgia in their campaigns.
Oh, that's so smart.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't have a fond memory of playing with Legos?
Okay, so tug at the heartstrings a little bit.
Exactly. But don't forget the rational side of things. Customers have practical needs too. Like, they need something that's affordable or functional, or both, ideally.
Right. Like, I need a sturdy water bottle, but I also want one that's, like, good for the planet.
Exactly. And Patagonia is the master of this, right? They're not just selling jackets. They're selling a lifestyle, a commitment to sustainability.
Okay, so how do we figure out what feeling our brand should evoke?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right, because once you know that, you can tailor your message.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. In the world of scrolling and swiping, how do we even get people to pay attention in the first place?
Okay, so crafting a killer message, that's key.
Easier said than done, right?
Well, think about it. Scrolling through social media is like running a gauntlet of distractions.
It's true.
Your content needs to cut through the noise. It has to be good.
Like, look at me before that cat video does, right?
Exactly.
So how do we do it?
Okay, strong visuals are huge. Start with a hook, something that grabs their attention.
Yeah.
And be concise.
Yes.
Nobody's reading a novel in their Instagram feed.
That's true. Get to the point.
And the point, make it snappy, make it memorable.
It's true. You got to grab them.
You do? You have 2 seconds?
Right. Before they scroll on by. Okay, so we've talked about the why. Let's get to the how.
Yes. Let's see how it's done.
This book is full of these amazing success stories, businesses that are absolutely killing it on social media, like real world examples, which I love.
The best.
Yeah, so let's dive into those. They talked about Partner in Wine.
Yes. Partner in Wine, love them. They make those insulated wine bottles.
Yes, with the cute little carrying case.
The best.
Right. So they went totally viral on TikTok during lockdown.
Totally. And it just shows you, even in a global crisis,
Yeah.
People still want to have a good time.
People need their wine, especially their rosé.
Especially their rosé. But their success wasn't just a fluke, being in the right place at the right time. They had a good product and a smart strategy.
Okay, so what did they do right?
Well, first of all, they tapped into a genuine need. People were stuck at home. They were craving those outdoor hangs with friends.
Right. And you can't really bring a whole bottle of wine to the park or to your friend's backyard.
Right. And who wants warm rosé?
Not me.
No, thank you. So they come in with this stylish and practical solution, right?
Smart.
But here's the thing. Their founder, Lucy Hitchcock, she's just so relatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's not just up there being salesy. She's sharing her love of wine, her story.
It's you feel like you know her.
Exactly. You can be friends, hanging out, drinking wine.
I'd be down for that. Okay, so authenticity is key. Got it. Speaking of authentic, they talked about this company, Evoke Classics.
Oh, yeah. The classic car company.
Yes. They're in a super niche market, right?
Totally. And, it's often seen as a little bit of a boys' club.
For sure.
But they decided to put Sarah Crabtree, their founder, who's a total badass, in the driver's seat.
I love that.
She's amazing. She knows everything about classic cars.
She's not just the face. She IS the brand.
Exactly. She's out there restoring vintage cars, sharing her knowledge online. Right. And she's built this whole community of enthusiasts, men, women, everyone.
It's so inspiring.
It is. And it just goes to show, people connect with people, right?
100%.
They see her passion. They're okay, she knows her stuff. These guys are legit. And then boom, they're ready to invest in their dream car.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've got relatable founders, passionate experts, but what about building an actual community online?
Oh, yeah, that's huge. They had a great example about the VA handbook.
Oh, okay. Yes. Tell me more about them.
So they're all about supporting virtual assistants, which is, a huge and growing field.
Oh, for sure.
So many people are working remotely these days.
It's only going to get bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, they created this amazing Facebook group.
Okay.
And it's a place where VAs can connect with each other, share advice, vent their frustrations, celebrate their wins.
It's their own little world.
Exactly, like a virtual water cooler, but way less gossip and a lot more actual helpful support.
I love that. No drama, just support and growth.
Mm-hmm.
So they found their niche, they created this online space, but they didn't stop there, right?
They're all about providing value.
Okay, so how do they do that?
Their Facebook group is full of free resources, expert advice, all kinds of goodies. They've really created this sense of we're in this together.
Oh, that's so smart. So people feel seen, they feel heard.
Exactly. Which, guess what? Leads to loyalty. People stick around.
Because they're getting something out of it. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. They get this amazing community and the members, they get all the support. Everyone wins.
Exactly. Speaking of community, have you heard of Comms Hero?
Yes, I was just about to ask about them. They're doing some cool stuff too, right?
So much good stuff. They actually started with in-person events for people who work in communications.
Oh, okay.
But then they were smart. They brought that community feel online.
Okay, how did they do that? Give me all the details.
Well, remember when we were talking about conference swag bags?
Oh yeah, who doesn't love a good swag bag?
Exactly. Yeah. So Comms Hero, they nailed it. They created these really cool, coveted items.
Everyone wants one.
Everyone wants one. And then, of course, people are posting about them online.
Free advertising.
The best kind. And it feels authentic because it's coming from actual excited attendees.
Oh, 100%. Okay, that's brilliant. So they're not just using a hashtag, they're creating a movement.
Exactly. And they're strategic about it. They use Twitter, X, as their main platform.
Okay. Makes sense. A lot of communicators are on there.
Exactly. And they're super active, encouraging conversations, responding to everyone.
They're engaged. They're in it to win it.
They are. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. What are the big takeaways from these success stories?
I mean, first of all, research is key, right? Like non-negotiable.
Absolutely. You have to know your audience inside and out.
100%. Like, what are their needs? What do they want? What platforms are they actually using? Because like you said, it's not enough to just be on every platform.
Right. It's about being strategic. You don't want to waste time and energy on a platform where your audience isn't even hanging out.
Makes sense. It's like, why are we even here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once you know where your audience is, tailor your content to that specific platform. Like what works on TikTok might not work on LinkedIn, you know?
Oh, yeah. Totally different vibes.
Totally. And then once you're there, engage. Talk to people, respond to comments, build those relationships.
Engagement is everything. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's rewind a bit. We talked about research, but what about like the overall strategy?
Right. So once you know who you're talking to and where to find them, then you need a game plan. And this book, they talk about something called Ansof's Matrix.
Ansof's Matrix. Okay, that sounds kind of intimidating. It does sound kind of scary, right? Like, what is this matrix?
No, it sounds very The Matrix, but it's actually pretty straightforward. It's basically a framework for thinking about growth strategies.
Okay, so break it down for us.
All right, so imagine this. You can either sell more of what you're already selling to your existing customers.
Okay, so like more of the same to the same people.
Exactly. That's market penetration. Or you can find new customers for your existing products.
Okay, so branching out a bit.
Right. That's market development. Or you can create new products for your existing customer base.
So same people, new stuff.
Exactly. Product development. Or you can go all out and develop new products for new markets.
Whoa, that's a whole lot of new.
I know, right? That's diversification. So 4 main paths to growth. But here's the kicker of this book. They say you should pick one.
Just one.
Just one. Focus all your energy on that one strategy.
I don't know. In today's world, that feels kind of limiting, doesn't it?
I know, it's a tough one. On the one hand, focus is super important. Like, pick your lane and own it.
Right. Become the master of that one thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then again, there's so many possibilities out there.
It's like that saying, jack of all trades, master of none.
Yes. But maybe you can be a master of one and then like dabble a little in other areas once you've, established yourself.
Right. So maybe a little bit of calculated risk taking is okay.
Exactly. But calculated is the key word here. You don't want to spread yourself too thin, too soon.
Pace yourself. Got it. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of social media for business growth, what's like the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this?
I think the biggest thing is that social media is powerful. But it's not magic. Like, it takes work.
It does.
It takes strategy, it takes effort, and it takes a real desire to connect with people. Don't get so caught up in the numbers,
Yeah.
the likes, the followers.
It's not all about vanity metrics.
Exactly. Focus on building real relationships, providing value, creating a community.
Love it. It's about being authentic, being strategic, and being in it for the long haul.
100%.
Awesome. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap things up here. But hey, if you're out there listening and you want to chat more about social media, you know where to find us.
We're always here to help.
Until next time.